The Chicago Blackhawks certainly gave their fans a scare last night in Game 1 of the series with the Nashville Predators, but pulled off the win 4-3 in overtime, which is exactly what our handicapper Dave Golokhov called for earlier in the week. And now we have him back with us right now to talk over his predictions for Game 2. Now, Dave, when you talked over your picks for Game 1, you seemed a little bit uncertain about the Blackhawks to win in that game, even though you did end up picking them on the money line. Now the Predators team really let this game slip right through their fingers. They had momentum, they had the early lead. I mean, what the hell happened out there, Dave? How did the Blackhawks pull off this win?
Well, I think it's more just experience than anything else. You take a look at Nashville, and they've had some demons to exercise over the last 6-7 games. I mean, they haven't been to the playoffs in 3 years, and started the season so well, kind of slumped down the stretch, and it looked like they figured things out in the first period, got a 3-0 early lead. But one of the things we talked about in the video was that one of these two teams had to flip the switch. The Blackhawks had lost 4 straight going into the playoffs. The Predators had lost 6 straight. And one of the reasons for the pick is just the experience of Chicago and the fact that I trusted them a little bit more to be able to turn it up a notch. And that's exactly what they did. They didn't panic down 3-0 on the road. You know, everything's against them. Nashville, most home wins in the Western Conference, and they ended up pulling it out in double overtime.
Yeah, it was an exciting game. Now, let's talk about Game 2 and how the goalies here, which we've already talked about a little bit, you talked about them in your article. Who can we expect to see in the game tomorrow night for the Blackhawks?
Well, that's a tough question. I'm not entirely sure who's going to be in net. I think me personally, I'd probably go back to Corey Crawford. But one of the things that Nashville accomplished in this game was a little bit of mind games for Chicago. The 3 goals came on 12 shots for Nashville in the first period. So they managed to chase Corey Crawford, who's the veteran, the guy that the Blackhawks have won a cup with. And they ended up putting in Scott Darling instead. Now, Darling played fantastic. He didn't allow a goal the rest of the way. I think 42 saves, something like that. So Chicago's kind of got a decision to make, but I think they go back to Crawford. But other than that, I mean, that seems like the only thing that Nashville was able to accomplish. But maybe that's enough for them because, this is basically do or die for them here in Game 2.
Absolutely. That's right, Dave. Now let's push aside here since you're talking about Predators. Do you think that they will be able to cover this one tonight?
I don't think so. The game's on Friday. I know you're excited for Game 2 there, but it's on Friday. Unless we're releasing this video on Friday, then I'll just shut up. But I don't think so. No, I think Nashville is not the play here. There was pressure on them in game number 1. As mentioned, they had lost 6 straight. Chicago had played well against them in the series. And, in the regular season series, they needed to turn the tide. They appeared to have turned the tide in the first period, but then after that, everything went wrong for them. Chicago had been a team that was slumping in terms of offense, just 2.23 goals since the All-Star break, but they scored 4 in Game 1. Pekka Rinne had, and the Predators giving up 4 goals per game during that 6-game losing streak. Well, they gave up 4 again and lost again. They just don't seem to have any answers right now. I know that this is going to be their best punch in this series. I mean, this is really it for them. But I just don't think they have the answers. I mean, yeah, Game 1 was must-win for them. Some of those games down the stretch in the regular season were must-win for them. I don't know that must-win is enough of a reason to take Nashville. Chicago's great. I mean, I think they'll be great with either goaltender in net. Their offense showed up. Their playoff savvy showed up. Patrick Kane had a good game with 2 assists. I mean, it's really tough to not only take Nashville here, but you have to lay juice with them. So I'm going to take another shot with Chicago here and stick with momentum.
All right, there you have it, guys. And Dave, yeah, you're right. I think I am a little bit too excited. This game is on Friday night, ladies and gentlemen. But there you have it, Dave Golokhov with your best pick and the correct time for the game on Game 2 of the Blackhawks versus the Predators. And if you aren't a fan of the moneyline plays here right now in the playoffs, Dave also gave out a nice play on the total for Game 2 on the Calgary Flames-Vancouver Canucks matchup. Follow the links below this video to find that pick. And hey, if you think you can challenge Dave with your own picks, or you have a question or comment for us, give us a shout out below this video, tweet at us at SBR Sports Picks, find us on Facebook at Sportsbook Review, and definitely don't miss out on all the best NHL picks for the Stanley Cup playoffs you can only get right here with us at SBRpicks.com.